Hello and thanks for staying with us. It's time for Political Platform on Reaper FM. My name is Amechi Anokwe. The Central Bank of Nigeria is receiving heavy backlash with its latest cash withdrawal limits. Several institutions, several individuals, the Senate, Nigerian Employers Consultative Assembly, many individuals saying it will work against the interests of the rural folks, the poor people whose economic activities are not mainstream and who may not be using using financial institutions to carry out their daily needs. We'll be dwelling on that. And of course, Monday, December 12th is the date. Nigerians who registered majorly this year, millions of them will begin to collect their permanent voters card. INEC yesterday responded to a visuals that circulated well on the social media purporting that some staff are aiding and abetting fraud through BVN. They provided explanations, and from what the information we are getting, the distribution of the PVCs will span through various categories, coming down to the place nearest to you. And of course, we have always harped on the National Social Investment Program. We had cause to believe that fraudulent activities have been going on after the Nigerian government may have spent 3.5 trillion naira on it. The ICPC yesterday picked up popular entertainer D'banj for allegedly, indeed, he's suspected to have helped himself with some of the money meant to be paid to beneficiaries of the scheme. The central thing is that he remains innocent. He's presumed innocent till proven guilty, but many Nigerians are asking, did he do it alone? He may have colluded with some government officials, those in other words, Nigerians want the suspicions to spread. The arrest, the investigation, even before it is proven to be also extended to key government officials involved in the implementation of the scheme. My colleagues are here with me today. We have Abulu Osemuagu, also with us this morning is Ehizoje Momo, and we also welcome Teve Tiaf. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Amechi, good morning, and good morning, dear listener. This is not part of your prologue, but we want to congratulate the first female president of the Republic of Peru, who emerged after the impeachment of the ex-wife president Castillo. And if we just a little information about what happened, the president, this is the fourth attempt to impeach the president of Peru, Castillo, who was accused of favoring a group of criminals, in quote, to get government contract, and he kept denying it until the House of Congress impeached him. But before the impeachment, the ex-wife president tried to dissolve the Congress in a Gestapo manner, which seemed to many as a coup. How can you plan a coup while you are sitting president?
I wanted to do tenure
elongation.
Illegally his tenure.
Good.
That didn't work.
And the ministers of his cabinet started resigning, and they left him alone. If you look at the vote in the Congress to impeach him, 101 voted against him, 10 absent, and only 6 votes he got. Those must be his close allies that voted for him. It's a lesson.
Who's the successor?
Dina Bulatet or someone like that. But it's President Dina Bulatet, a female president who has emerged first female president of Peru in the 16-day activism of women all over the world campaigning for against violence against women and gender equality. Congratulations to the female folks.
Yes, congratulations. When will it extend to Nigeria? Perhaps the president, our own president, we don't know, but the way and manner he keeps reassuring that he will hand over that May 2023, May 29, 2023 remains sacrosanct. Some persons may suspect that attempts are being made to put him under pressure to also think along that line. If you go that route, then the Peru treatment will happen to you. Perhaps the Fireboy DMS and a Sheeran song Peru should be renting the airwaves in
US.
Peru. That's Peru Okay, but for issues today, perhaps Izoje is kicking to as our finance correspondent. So much pressure on the CBN over his cash withdrawal policy.
Good morning, Amici. Good morning, listener. I was on the streets on Wednesday to find out how Nigerians, are actually reacting to this new directive. It's actually not starting now. That's one information because some persons believe that it's going to kick off like immediately. No, the first thing to note is that it's going to happen next year, January 9th. That's the implementation date. So this information has come out before then, while we are awaiting the new notes, which is being expected at least from December 15. Now, in every directive, you have people who are for and against. Let me tell you some of the things that Nigerians are afraid of. They are not afraid of the limits that have been set. What they have said is that if you say we should use our mobile phones and we should do internet banking, is at the infrastructure everywhere in the country. They have people back home in remotest of villages. They are concerned about how they can get funds across to those people.
The NCC, National Communication or Nigerian Communication Commission, not tell us that almost every other part of the country, except some places, are not covered by internet? Was it not the reason why the INEC decided to use that same internet to transmit results? What is the difference there?
The difference is what I'm seeing is a situation of people not yet agreeing or accepting that culture that you don't have to have this cash in your hand before you can actually spend money. But they believe that
it's utilization of the new technology that is pushing a lot of people back. Perhaps due to literacy rates.
Very well.
For example, one of those who I interviewed on the street said, I have these laborers and people who carry, work daily. I mean, if you don't give them their money, you won't go home. Or if you are the project site supervisor, you can't go home. And then if you say you want to transfer,
if you transfer and it has not landed, you will never go home. I've worked with them.
Maybe
I don't know whether I have experienced
yes, very well. They would go until you pay their cash.
Very stubborn.
Yes.
Very hard.
Maybe Hizoje should bring us up to speed with this issue of transfer. There's a CBN policy that says if you make a transfer to another bank and it didn't drop after certain hours, the CBN will charge the bank certain amount of money. Is that policy still on?
Yes, it is on. The whole lot of it that CBN came out with at that period about bank to bank, reverse
transfer,
and all, and then how the days and if it's but you need to ask the question also, are Nigerians tired? When these things happen, people go to report, they tell you it will be reversed. I tried it personally, and when I went to the bank, I told them about the CBN policy. I don't want to mention the name of the bank, but I said I'm aware of this policy. If you do not do this, you just wait. I know what to do. I was telling you that day, I think the bank, Nigerians need to be aware.
And okay, public complaint commission.
Let's say you're building your palatial country home in your village in Edo State. Where in Edo State?
In Irua.
Around the specialist hospital in Irua. And you engage laborers and you use your USSD code or your banking app to indeed make that transfer, and it didn't land. And as we say, their life depends on their daily need, their daily earning.
Wages.
And perhaps I said yesterday on this program, there are several local governments in Nigeria that don't have banking system, as in banks situated there. Perhaps it could take hours to get to the nearest bank to lodge a complaint that it has not reversed and all that. And perhaps the cost of transporting yourself to that place may be much more in value than the money you transferred or you're waiting to come into your bank. These are issues, and these are what the Senate put on the table. Nigeria Employers Consultative Council, many. The common denominator is that this policy is good, but what they're saying, the haste, the limited time frame that CBN is giving, not becoming unmindful of the reasons CBN is insisting that this should go through.
Quickly, Amechi, I chatted with the NIPOST, NIPOST now.
Nigeria Post
And
Office.
I was made to understand that you have a NIPOST office in all local government of Nigeria. And you know, Union Bank used to have closed marking.
That is if they are still functional.
Yes, they used to have closed marking with NIPOST. So everywhere you see NIPOST, you see that bank there. So one would think or suggest that the CBN can take advantage of the NIPOST offices scattered around Nigeria to ensure that all banks are represented there with maybe a staff or two.
So can you decree that
then two.
They go to where they will make profit.
Yes, then secondly,
where they will make profit, you will not see them. They are not a charity organization.
Let me tell you one of the biggest fear of the low-income earners or those that collect wages, daily pay, Amici. The CBN policy does not stop you from withdrawing more than 20,000 naira. They said if you are withdrawing 20,000 naira, above 20,000 naira, you pay 5% of the money you are withdrawing. Let's say, for example, you are withdrawing 20,000 naira.
The bank will not tell you if you are withdrawing 500,000. They will not say no.
Yes.
You only pay for it.
Good. Now for 20,000, I mean,
it's not 20. When you withdraw 20, you don't get any charge.
That's from ATM.
No, 100 weekly.
Weekly, above
Good.
100. So
No,
you have 100. You must take 100 before you can start paying the fee. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so in a day you cannot take more than 20,000.
In a week, you are entitled.
On my understanding of the policy is that if you take 20,000 naira in a day and you intend to take another 20,000 naira, you pay 5% of that amount.
Till you exhaust the 100,000 per week selling.
So you can withdraw everything in one day.
Yes, you only pay for it
in a week. Yes.
So that 1,000 naira, if you check 5% of 20,000 naira, is about 1,000, 1,002.
But the thing is that you can transfer 20 trillion using your phone or your banks. You will pay, I think for some banks it's less than 100 naira the fee you pay.
Connectivity is still a problem.
We have to re-emphasize that. But another important issue is those hundreds of thousands of Nigerian young persons
Millions.
who are engaged in pure point of sale.
That's what
That's what I'm saying. So if you are charging 1,000 only from the bank, how much would they now add their charges? Because if you go withdraw 20,000 naira now, you are charged 200-300 naira. Now, if you had 1,000 from the bank, how much would they be adding?
Okay. The POS operators, some of them are kicking because I think it's also stated in that directive that you can only take 20,000 from the POS operator. So it means that
per day,
where I think 10,000 for like in Abuja, because it varies. In Abuja, 10,000 attracts like 100 naira. If you do 20,000, that should be 200. So for any individual, those POS operators I spoke with yesterday said, Oga, we will survive. We will not. We will see how. We will see how it works.
Well, like we said yesterday, it's incumbent on the central bank to look at concerns raised by Nigerians. We appreciate the intent behind the policy, but any policy that ends up inflicting pains on not just the lives of the citizen, on their livelihood, is incumbent on the Apex Bank to review and see how they could address some of the concerns.
The former World Bank staff, Ezekwesili,
yes,
the policy is disastrous.
Yeah, in a tweet.
Yesterday, it's disastrous.
She likened it to tumbom to Calabar.
That's
rule of the thumb. That's what she's suggesting, that it appears the CBN, not just this policy, that all these recent policies of the CBN appear to be haphazard, guesswork, not coordinated, panicky measure to try to manage our monetary system that is not doing very well.
I bet you there's one advantage though that I heard on the streets, that those people who take people's ATMs and go to POS and withdraw everything, that one, this policy may be a solution, because you will not be able to withdraw at least 20,000 from a POS now.
Let's quickly highlight the positive side. If kidnappers abduct you and ask you to pay 3 million, it will take a longer time. It will be more difficult, and they will understand. So some say it will discourage that. Financial crime, terrorism financing will be tracked. Financial transactions will be tracked, and money within the system will be within the financial system, so that the SMEs that need it will access it. So we'll end by asking CBN to review that policy and see how they can address the very many concerns citizens raise. Let's talk about the PVC collection. It will start on Monday. What we are hearing is that INEC is planning to use some internet-based processes to enable those that have not collected, even those that are registered as far back as 2010, to reach, to identify where their PVCs are, so that they can easily go there to pick them up. What we are hearing also is that for those people that still have maintained the phone numbers they used to register with, INEC may send SMS to you to inform you where you can come up to pick it. But we have millions left unpicked, and they expect a beehive of activities starting from Monday, December 12th. Be one of the first so that you don't encounter crowd towards the end.
Amaechi, I would say congratulations to INEC for setting a date for collection of PVC. What we have said here, the other day, we are arguing that you put the collection point at the local government headquarters. Amaechi, some local governments are like 1 hour drive. Local government headquarters or more. We have said that most states have development areas. You can decentralize the collection of this PVC.
But they announced plans to decentralize, starting from after 2-3 weeks, they go to other areas.
Okay, when they rush, because Nigerians last minute. Because I think Nigerians like last minute approach. So some people will not collect.
To start with local government, then cascade to ward and all that.
But a lot of issues are jam-packed in this end of the year, Amaechi. The Naira denomination, the change, the POS, now the collection of PVC. I'm sure Nigerians will be able to program themselves to ensure that...
So much to do.
It's a busy end of year.
Well, how come you're not mentioning that there's Christmas?
That's what I'm saying now. It's a busy end of year.
That one is...
It's a busy end of year. You have to design your timetable so that it will fit
marriages, different occasions, people time it at this time when people gather. So you also include that with the PVC collection, include that without the new Naira notes, how you manage it ahead of December.
And as you're traveling, you're also running from the abductors.
So we hope that Nigerians will take advantage of this so that they will not start rushing ending of January because you also know we have census coming up next year. There's also preparation towards that. A lot of things between now and May.
Fully loaded.
So we hope to see how Nigerians take advantage of this opportunity to collect their PVC and vote for the candidate of their choice. The candidates have been campaigning all around. And they've been making their promises, and you have the power to put in the president you want.
Okay, let's have your mails. Let's take a break. After the break, we'll share your letter.